Hello, welcome to another session with us. If you've not watched our videos, please subscribe, watch, and like for more of these exciting examples. Today, we're going to be doing something really different. Most times, they're just testing how you think as a mathematician. That is why we want to start most of our fundamentals from the ground up so that you understand how some things work. Now, on the board here is an exponential equation. But this exponential equation will generate to something you don't expect. It will generate to a quadratic equation such that you will use the methods you've learned to solve them. Now look at this equation. This type of equation is called an exponential equation. Why is it called an exponential equation? Because it has a variable which is the power and is x. So if you have 2x equals to 8, this is an exponential equation. You're expected to find the value of x, which is the power. Now, without wasting much time, let's look at how we can approach this very question that is here, from exponential to quadratic. Now, you will agree with me that if you have 2 power 2x, this can also be written as 2 power x all power 2. I think I should be doing this explanation on the other side of the board. Are you with me? I should be doing this on the other side of the board. If you have 2 power 2x, this is the same thing as 2 power x all power 2. The reason is because in your law of indices, if you have a power b or power c, this is the same thing as a power bc. This is established. So if you want to use the same approach on this very problem, this can be written as 2 power x all power 2 minus 6 into 2 power x plus 8 equals to 0. Nothing has actually changed here from this result. This result is the same thing. Now moving forward, we can say let k be equals to 2 power x. Let k be equals to 2 power x. If that happens, it implies that this equation will become k power 2 minus 6k plus 8 equals to 0. K square minus 6k plus 8 equals to 0. This has given us the form of a quadratic equation. Now, there are different methods to solve this very problem. You can use factorization method because it's very possible to factor. You can also use your formula method. Now, but the thing is, why do we use different methods in quadratic equation? These methods are actually used because one does not work for it. So if you check that you cannot factorize, the next alternative you have is to use the formula method, or you use the completing the square method. But this very quadratic equation can actually be factorized. Now, what do you do when you want to factorize in a quadratic equation? This is what you do. If you have something like this, you look for two factors. What we have is k squared minus 6k plus 8 equals to 0. Now, you look for two factors such that their product will be equals to 8 and their sum will be equals to minus 6. Two numbers such that their product will be equals to 8 and their sum will be equals to minus 6. Now let's think about this. What two numbers will you multiply to give you 8? And when you add them, you get minus 6. Now, if you have minus 2 times minus 4, minus will cancel minus, this and this will give you 8. Now, let's try their sum. If you have minus 2 plus minus 4, minus 2 minus and plus will give you minus 4, which is equals to minus 6. So these two results is okay. So our factors are minus 2, minus 4. Now, if we come back here to solve this can actually be written as k square. You can have minus 4k minus 2k plus 8 equals to 0. Nothing has changed between this and this. The reason is because minus 4k minus 2k will give you minus 6k and then the plus 4k. Nothing has actually changed. Now we are going to factor this out. We are going to factor it out. This is going to be k into k. K times k will give you k squared. We have minus 4. You close this. You have minus 2 into k will give you minus 2k, then minus 4 equals to 0. Now look at what happened here. K squared. K times minus 4 will give you minus k. Minus 2 times k will give you minus 2k, and then minus 2 times minus 4 will give you plus 8. The idea here is simple. Now, because this and this are the same, this and this are the same, we'll pick one of these and one of these. So we have k minus 2, k minus 4, all equals to 0. All equals to 0. Now, with what we have here, you'll be wondering, how are we now going to get the value of our k? By inspection, normally, you know that your answer here is going to be 2 and 4. But that is not what we do here. We show you why everything happens the way they happen. Now, look at what we have. We have minus 2k and we have k minus 2 and we have k minus 4 as our result. We have k minus 2, k minus 4 as our result. But you know, in quadratic equation, you must get two solutions. Now, to get your first k, let's divide here by k minus 2. Divide here by k minus 2. Now, this will cancel this, and this will still give you what? 0. So what you have is k minus 4 equals to 0. So your k is equals to 4. This is your first k. To obtain your second k, the same thing we have here, which is k minus 2, k minus 4 equals to 0. This time around, you're dividing here by k minus 4. Such that this will cancel this. This k minus 4 will still give you what? 0 here. So you have what? K minus 2 equals to 0. and your k is equals to 2. So your k1 and your k2 is 4 and 2. So coming back here, we can say that our k is equals to 2, or our k is equals to 4. Now, it doesn't end here. Now look at this. Look at this trick. If you're able to get your factors, which in this very case, we had -2 and -4. Your result is the opposite of the factors. So the opposite of -2 should be +2. The opposite of -4 should be 4. So if you get your factors, the reverse of your factor is your solution. But the question is this where this is going to end? Is no. Don't forget, we said that our k is equals to 2 power x. That's our k. Now, we had our k1 to be what? 2, and our k2 to be 4. So therefore, when k1 is equals to 2, it implies that k1 is equals to 2 power x. And k1 is 2. It implies that you have 2 equals to 2 power x. This is raised to the power of 1. Now, this will cancel this, and what is left on top will be x is equals to 1. So, our x is equals to 1. Secondly, when k is 4, when k2 is equals to 4, it therefore means that we will now have 2 power x is equals to 4. This is equals to 2 power x. This is equals to 2 power 2. Because 2 power 2 is 4. So this will cancel this. So your x is equals to 2. So therefore, your x1 is equals to 1, and your x2 is equals to 2. This is what we have as our solution. This is what we have as our solution. So, if you observe, we started from reducing the exponential equation down to its quadratic form. Then we now solve the factorization method, and then we now got our results. If you have any question, kindly ask. And don't forget, please watch our other videos, subscribe, like, and share to family and friends. I'll be happy and hoping to see you on our next video.